Hello, it's news for Scotland at the start of August 23. The question today, does England rule Scotland? A small demonstration took place this Thursday outside the UK government's headquarters in Edinburgh. Queen Elizabeth House, a short walk from the Scottish Parliament, was opened by the Johnson government in 2019. A 7-storey building housing 11 British government departments with space to employ up to 3,000 UK civil servants. The demo, organised by the pro-independence group Action for Scotland, stood outside the building holding up a banner saying, "England, get out of Scotland." Demo organiser, the anti-poverty activist Sean Clerkin, explained that his complaint was not against the English people who are welcome in Scotland, but against English institutions having a controlling influence over Scottish politics and economic decisions. Action for Scotland believes that bodies such as the Bank of England, the Ministry of Defence and the BBC are basically English organisations of state. It was reported in November 23 that the cost of running the UK hub for 1 year was now £11 million. So why did the Johnson government choose to spend that huge sum when the devolved government had already been running things in Scotland for 20 years? The new building in Edinburgh contains a cabinet office where the UK government ministers could meet, but the government then declined to comment on whether it has ever actually been used. The hub opened 5 years ago, and Alistair Jack, then the Scottish Secretary, said it demonstrated Prime Minister Boris Johnson's unwavering commitment to strengthening the United Kingdom. Mr. Johnson is no longer in politics. Mr. Jack added then that the global opportunities offered by leaving the EU meant that the case for the Union has never been stronger. Mr. Jack is no longer in politics. For many years following the union between Scotland and England in 1707, Scotland was directly ruled from London, continuing the practice really began by King James VI a century earlier. Writing in London, he said of Scotland, "Here I sit and I govern it with my pen. I write and it is done." Scotland was really North Britain, but in 1885 the Scottish Office was created, and for decades Scotland was administered by civil servants in Edinburgh, and from 1939 they've been in St Andrew's House in Carlton Hill. Its functions have more recently been overseen democratically by the Scottish Parliament, but for all that time Scotland managed to run its devolved affairs without a UK government presence in Edinburgh. I asked Sean Clerkin why, in his opinion, the UK government now thinks it needs a presence in the capital.
Sean, why do you think the UK government positioned this hub just 5 minutes walk from the Scottish Parliament buildings?
It's deliberately done to intimidate the devolution Parliament. It's to say we're in charge. And that's why devolution was always only ever a stepping stone to Scottish independence. Devolution is not good enough. We need full Scottish independence. That's the only way we're going to be able to control our own affairs and not be a dependent colony or a vassal state of a Greater England.
Now, of course, this building was set up by the Conservative government. Would you expect some change under Labour? I hear they're short of money. Why don't they sell it off as a hotel?
Well, they could. They should. They should. But they're a unionist party, just like the Tories, and they will continue to treat Scotland as a vassal state, a dependent colony, where all control is with Viceroy Murray as the Secretary of State for Scotland. And he'll take his orders from London, and he'll be a good little boy, just like the other 37 Labour MPs. Don't forget, these are the same 37 MPs that voted to maintain the two-child cap. Against third and fourth children getting benefits. And that's an absolute disgrace that a Labour government would do a thing like that. It's not the old Labour Party of Tony Benn or Eric Heffer or even Jeremy Corbyn. It's a despicable Labour government they're just red Tories, just like the blue Tories, unionists, that's all they are.
So if it's not needed to run the country, are the protesters right to say the UK hub is only there to show Scotland who's boss? Well, what do you think? We welcome comments, and if you do put a comment below, we'll do our best to reply to them as soon as we can. News for Scotland is a not-for-profit new media company set up to discuss the big questions facing Scots as we look forward to the Scottish general elections on May 26. If you want to help us to expand, please follow us on TikTok or subscribe to our YouTube channels. Also, if you can, it would be great if you could contribute a few pounds to our fundraiser to help us to make programmes about Scotland, to make news where we are. Thanks for watching. We'll be back soon.